Joe's lived here all his life, but he's not from around here. Street names are different, landmarks lie, and even money shows presidents he's never known. Some versions of Fort Wayne, Indiana are apocalyptical wastelands. Others harbor dark secrets. But when trouble strikes, Joe opens a trash can and tears a six-dimensional rift in reality. Inside lies a void where he glimpses the multiverse and rides unknown currents to another Fort Wayne, Indiana, hoping that this one may actually feel like home. With each crossing, his memories slip away. Only Nobuyuki, his shape-shifting Kitsune companion, remains constant, and they are hiding secrets about Joe's past that he may never remember. In a multiverse where the next trash can might lead to salvation or doom, Joe must find his way back before he forgets what home is. Middle-Aged Man in a Trash Can by William Bryan Johnson, published by Wild Rose Press, and available June 25th, 2025. Pre-orders are now available. And welcome to Tiki Man and the Viking podcast. This is the Viking. In the next several episodes, we will be talking with attendees and speakers who are at OWFI. Enjoy, and go read a book.
We are Tiki Man and the Viking at OWFI, and today we are with
Ross Lampert. No, we introduce you. You have to introduce yourself. You're fine.
Okay, I'm just trying to be helpful here.
Is this, how many times have you come to OWFI?
Oh, gosh. This is probably something like my 15th year here.
So you're officially a pro or an old-timer, as they call us, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, well, okay, yeah.
I
guess so, yeah.
What genre? What do you write?
Well, I write a lot of things. I've got a science fiction trilogy, near-future science fiction trilogy that's been out for quite a while. And right now I'm in the final stages of getting a 6-book nonfiction series for writers on how to critique, getting ready to publish over the course of the year.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Sure.
Very eager to get that thing done and out so I can get back to fiction.
Mm-hmm. So tell me about your science fiction.
It's, like I said, it's near future. The future is getting closer and closer as time goes on. But it's based in genetics. The basic story is that all of a sudden, all of these major diseases, all the cancers, a lot of other kinds of diseases are cured. And at first, nobody knows how. Well, my heroine, who is a young, brilliant female geneticist, is the one who figures out that 5 naturally occurring, naturally mutated viruses have infected everybody. And the first thing they do is they've been taking care of all of these diseases and curing them all. And wow, that sounds like a great thing. Except that there are people who want her to, are saying, no, this can't happen. This is against everything, it'd be terrible for humanity because if nobody's dying, there's going to be, population is going to explode and it's just going to be a total disaster. And then there are other people saying, no, this is a gift from God. You can't touch this. So she's getting pressure from all different sides, trying to figure out what she's going to do, or if she's going to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's where pretty much the first book ends. And then the series goes on because as that first book is ending, without getting into spoilers, bad things start to happen, starting with her.
Yeah, of course.
And so then she and the other characters who survive this initial wave of bad things have to figure out what they're going to do and how they're going to survive.
It seems to me that, you've got that social aspect of governments and the health professions saying on one thing, you've got the religious, spiritual, moral overtones on the other side.
Yep.
How difficult or how easy was it to weigh and balance? You've got this near future science fiction, but you've got the two opposing sociological aspects.
Yeah.
How difficult was that to balance those?
Surprisingly, it wasn't that hard. The characters that were in the antagonistic characters just naturally worked with each other, against each other, so that I didn't have to do a lot of, planning and sorting out. The characters themselves were giving me the structure that I needed to have these conflicting, counterbalancing influences. It was interesting to watch that develop.
Now, what made you choose a young female protagonist?
With all of the characters, with her and with the other four, the four antagonistic characters, they pretty much all just came up to my door, knocked on the door, and said, "Hi, I'm a character in your novel.
Yeah,
let me in."
themselves to you, and there they were.
Yeah,
I understand that.
Well, do you have any background in genetics yourself?
I don't. I have a bachelor's degree in physics.
Okay.
So I have a background in the sciences,
Right.
but not in biology or genetics. So I had a lot of research to do. Fortunately, a cousin of mine works at the University of Texas Southwestern Medical Center of Dallas, and she was able to get me into one of the biology labs there at UT Southwestern.
Nice.
Okay.
And it happened that was where my protagonist worked.
Okay.
That was a decision I'd made beforehand, but then when I had that connection, then one of the scientists was willing to let me come in and visit for a day and a half and see how a lab, what it physically looks like, what it smells like, how the scientists work within it, and gave me just all the setting information I needed for that particular building, that particular location.
What was your one takeaway from that visit?
Oh, man. I don't know that there was one particular one.
Mm-hmm.
It was more of just getting that sense, that overall feeling of what this place is like. You see labs on TV and that sort of thing and in movies, but I wanted to see what a real working lab was like. Mm-hmm. And that gave me the ability to see that.
Now, what does coming to OWFI do for you as a writer and as a person?
Well, as a writer, you guys are both writers. We're always learning.
Right.
And so this is an opportunity for me to come in and learn more about the craft. And the books that I'm working on now started from a series of questions that the members of the critique group that I've been running since about 2007 were asking each other about, how do we do critique? More importantly, how do we do critique well? Mm-hmm. And so that led to a whole series of questions, which then became a series of blog posts, which I then updated. And then I've been saying for a while, I'd like to turn this into a book. And so that's how that came about. And so I'm sucking in information from the various presentations every year to, pile into those books too. So it's been great. Plus, I lived in Oklahoma for a lot of years. The reason I'm here, I live in Arizona, but I come back to volunteer with Oklahoma City Memorial Marathon because I lost a friend in the bombing. And when I was looking around thinking, gee, I wonder if there's a writers' conference in this area. Lo and behold, a week after the marathon, here's OWFI. So I say, I'll check it out. And with a couple of exceptions, I've been here ever since.
Now, this, as we're recording right now, we are at the end of the 2-day conference.
Yeah.
We were asking people when we were interviewing earlier, at the end of the conference. So we are now at the end of the conference.
Yeah.
What can you say that you have gotten from this conference? What are you going to be taking away with you when you go back home?
I have been taking copious notes, which I will share with my group. And the last presentation that I was at was on the structuring narrative nonfiction, namely things like memoirs. Mm-hmm. Well, one of the members of my group is working on what he's not willing to call a memoir, but I think that's pretty much what it is. And this is ideal. This is the kind of material that I think would be very helpful to him. So I made sure that I picked that session as one of the ones that I was going to go.
You hope he appreciates all of your work.
He'd darn well better.
Yeah.
Yeah, he will. I'm sure he will.
That is what I love about this, is it's a knowledge base.
Yes.
And so many different people with so many different tracks coming together and kind of sharing what they do.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And such a wide range of topics as well. So there's always things I'm taking away that Oh, I didn't know that.
Fascinating story. That series really sounds like it's got some punch to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the things, it's been interesting, the novel series, I've had a lot of people. I started writing that series actually as my master's thesis when I was doing Masters of English at UCO.
Ooh, wow.
And so that was 2004 when I started writing it. And yet, as the books developed and came out, people have been saying, given all the things that have happened since, how did you know that was going to happen? How did you know things were going to go that way? And I thought, I didn't. I made it up.
It's interesting that writers are sometimes accused of being psychic or prescient in some regard. And it's just that I think we simply have the ability to intuit things in a story progression, but when it comes out to happening in real life, sorry, I don't want to take any credit for that.
Yeah.
And it has the magic of sci-fi.
Yeah, or blame. Yeah.
Yeah.
From that standpoint.
And it is the magic of sci-fi to look in the future and figure out how things are going to go.
Well,
Right.
a lot of this was simply, okay, I'm going to throw some really serious existential problems at these characters. How do people respond
Right.
in situations
Right.
like that? And it happens that when COVID hit, similar kind of existential problem, not as serious as what I thought
Right.
the characters of the book, but still very new and different and frightening and challenging. And so,
Difference there.
yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Ross, thanks for visiting with us.
Hey, thank you guys. I really appreciate it.
And
And the one thing that we always say at the end of every podcast is
read
a
a
book.
book.
Absolutely. Mine, preferably.
Well, yeah, of course. And we hope everybody reads any book. Just pick up a book and read it.
And where can people find your book?
The Eternity Plauge series is available on Amazon.
Okay. Thank you, sir, for coming on out.
Thank you.
Ross Lampert at OWFI 25.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Tiki Man and the Viking Podcast brought to you by Rumination of Thunder Media. The following intro and outro music was used for this media project. The music Find Them by Alexander Nakrata. Free download from filmmusic.io. License Creative Commons Attribution 4.0 International.